उसे जल्दी हो गई। Shoes, we'll take a group picture. We'll take a group picture inside. Then you shop.
A very good morning to everyone. I, Swati Agroya, Executive Committee Member of FICCI Ladies Organization, welcomed you all to an interactive session on Business of Fashion Design with renowned designer Vikram Phadnis. I would like to request Ms. Meenal Jain, our chairperson, to accompany our esteemed speaker to the dais, please. From there. First of all, I, on behalf of FLO, congratulate Mr. Phadnis on completing more than 25 years in the fashion industry. Vikram Phadnis embarked his professional journey in an entirely different stream of Bollywood choreography. But, destined to rock the ramp, he set to fashion quest without any formal training. His style is about richness of Indian couture in regal fabrics, through traditional ornate crafts like embroideries, embossing, and embellishing. He uses a vibrant color palette from cool to warm with one compulsion of golden highlights in one or the other form. A pioneer in bridal and trousseau segment, Vikram Phadnis collections are truly a treat for an Indian bride. He is considered the most celebrated film costume designer and stylist in Bollywood. Now, I welcome our chairperson, Ms. Meenal Jain, to speak few words and take it forward.
Welcome, Vikram. As they say, fashion is always on the verge of becoming unfashionable. But fashion shopping is always better than in therapy. And at least we get dressed out of it. So friends, I would like not to take up much of time now. And we would like to hear Vikram converse with us. So let's begin. Yeah?
Hello. Good morning, everyone. You can be a little louder.
Good morning.
Okay, lovely. Why don't those kids come in the front? This side is full. Why don't you all come in the front? Yeah. Come in the front. I just want everyone to know that I'm going to keep this more interactive. I'm going to keep this more simple, basic. I'm not as enlightened as Mr. Prabhu, who is going to be your next speaker today during the day. He's from IIM, and this is what they speak, and this is what they enlighten the audience. But I'm going to keep it more experience-based. So please feel free. I'd like a mic in the audience. Feel free. I don't want to do this as a Q&A later. Feel free to ask me whenever, whatever you want to stop me. You want to ask me at any point of time, whatever I'm speaking about. Please feel free to ask me whatever questions you have and whatever you may need to know. Just raise your hands and you'll get a mic. Yeah?
Okay, let's start then. Yeah? Vikram, how and when did you just realize that you would be a fashion designer? And few words about your journey.
I completed 25 years 2 years ago, so this is my 27th year. 3 years from now, it will be 3 decades of fashion for me.
Wow, that's nice.
Thank you. So it's been a journey which is, I think if I could turn back the clock and I would say, would you like to do anything else again? If you could turn back the clock and take me back in time, I'd say no, I'd like to relive everything just the way I did it. I'm not a student of fashion. I've not gone to fashion school. But that's not a typical case of how everyone should be in this country. Whenever I go to fashion schools, I keep telling them that just because mine was a fluke case does not mean that that's the way it's going to be. My parents are doctors and I'm a student of medicine. But, yeah.
So from medicine to fashion design, can you believe this?
Yeah.
Huh?
So back in the day, 27, 28 years ago, in Bombay, we were really not, I don't think anywhere in India, we are really not allowed to choose a profession. Doctor's son becomes a doctor, an engineer's son becomes an engineer, and if there was a designer's son becomes a designer. But unfortunately or fortunately, there was a period and a phase in my life when I said that, no, this is not what I wanted to do. I did 2 years of medicine. And I gave it all up one night, and I said that, you know, this is peer pressure, and I'm not...
But then students, they learn so much and all that to strive for medicine. After doing 2 years, you give it up.
Yeah, because we were not asked. Our forms were just filled, and we were said, you have to go to this college and you have to become a doctor. Because somebody has to run the business. Right. So today, in the hindsight, my parents are proud, but there was a very, very tough phase of 2.5 years, which I will never forget, because it was a very, I don't think any kid should go through this, because we always force our kids. We always insist. We always live our dreams by what we want to live our dreams through our kids, which is one thing I always tell every parent, which you shouldn't, because every parent, every child comes with his own destiny. And it took me a long and a tough time to convince them that this is not what I want to do. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be living out of hospitals. And I would see my father and mother running into emergencies in the middle of the night and leaving us. And I realized that this is not what I wanted to do. Because I wanted
probably
to escape
3 Idiots was not released that time.
And because I wanted to escape from there, I, by default, you know, got into choreography because I just wanted to run away from medicine. And I think entertainment is something that attracted me. I used to bunk college and go and watch films, and I used to see films and I used to say, oh my God, if this one can dress like this, I think I can dress this person better. But it was all in my head. And by the time I could voice it to my parents, and by the time I could tell my parents that this is what I wanted to do, I had got one tight slap. Oh. So across my face, and they said, this is not what you're going to do, and you know, this is a boy becoming a designer was a tailor.
Darzi, you know?
Yeah. So in the typical this thing, I still remember that when my father just, you know, he got up, he was, if I should say so myself, he was so violent with me, and he was like, you cannot, you will spoil, you know, what will we tell our friends, and what will you tell our family, and are you on drugs? You know, how can you even think like this? And I said, no, this is not what I want to do, and you're not going to force me to do it. And eventually, I fought, and they said, each one to your own. We are not going to get you into fashion school. What you have to do it on your own. And that's how the struggle began, and that's how I started doing small shows in college. And Meher Jaise at that point of time saw a show of mine, and she said, you know, you're a very talented boy, and you must take this up professionally. Okay. And one fine day, I met Shashi Kapoor, and he was making a film with Mr. Bachchan called Ajuba. And I just walked up to him at Prithvi Fest, at Prithvi Theatre, and I said, listen, I'm a young boy, and I don't know what to do. I'd like to assist you. And he said, no, we don't take like this. You'll have to go to the, you know, you'll have to come to office, and you'll have to meet my manager. And his son, Mr. Kunal Kapoor, was there. And I said, you know, I'll do anything. I'll lift your bag. I just want to come for shooting. I'll come to the editing. You give me any job. I just want to start off with that. And he was kind enough to, I worked with him for 2 years. And, you know, just accompanying him. I would just follow Mr. Kapoor and, you know, just do his odd jobs, and I started getting an exposure to the industry. And the first piece of fabric was when I took my mother's sari and I cut it and I made an outfit. Yeah.
She didn't hesitate that.
No.
Okay, how has fashion and the business of fashion evolved over the last 3 decades that you have been a part of this?
I think in a very big way. When I started fashion, we were a handful, 10 of us in the country who, you know, besides the mainstream designers in the fashion industry, in cinema, we were just about 6 of us. And it was great because we didn't have the kind of exposure that students have today. I just visited the art stall just now, and I just saw the kind of infrastructure that the teacher gives them. I go to fashion schools and I see the kind of exposure there is. When I started off 27 years ago, there was nothing like this. There was no, everything was, you know, the machines were not like the machines that you get today. Everything was so basic, so simple. Everything from guidance, everything from knowledge, everything from technology, everything has changed. If I look at myself 27 years ago of how I started, and I would sit with my fabrics and, you know, hunt embroidery people, the kind of infrastructure that was there for embroideries. Today I can churn up, you tell me at 11 o'clock in the morning that you want a bridal lehenga for a heroine tomorrow evening, and I'll churn it out. Over there it would take me 3 weeks. So today's kids are so fortunate enough that they have the infrastructure, they have the channels, the potential. A lot has changed. The mindsets have changed. For me, it was very difficult because I have worked with the gamut of Sridevi, Rekha, Tabbu. From that, today when you work with an Alia and a Deepika, the way they think, the way they plan, the way they work is so different.
They're more focused, that's what you're trying to say.
Not only more focused, there is so much, it's so competitive, it's so challenging, it's so, you've got to be on your toes. I've come to Jaipur over here today. I've left everything. You approached me a month ago because I realized that there is a certain sense of visibility that I'll get. It's not only what you'll get from me, it's what I'll get from you. I've got an audience today. I've got a visibility. There is, Jaipur is such a big market. I house 2 of the designers from Jaipur at my store in Krasa in Bombay. This is visibility. In those times, I don't think any such thing existed. I don't think people invited one another to, speak, to share their knowledge. Today I'm here because there's a certain sense of visibility that I find in Jaipur, so I'm here. So I think it's fashion in so many ways have changed, not only in creativity, in terms of structure and in terms of, just the whole channelizing of what the whole business of fashion is about.
How do you define the brand Vikram Phadnis? And how does one build their individual brand? I'm sure everybody will be, gaining knowledge from all of this.
The brand Vikram Phadnis has been through a gamut of emotions. It's been a roller coaster ride because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what Vikram Phadnis brand should be, whether it should be Pret, whether it should be Diffusion, whether it should be Couture, that is the high-end luxury line. My brand was in a very confused state in the first 8-10 years. I tried my hand at everything. I tried a bit of Pret, I tried a bit of jewelry, I tried a bit of Couture. But over the years, if you sustain, you realize what you want out of your brand. You realize whether your brand has to be affordable. You realize whether it's a luxury brand. You realize whether it's a brand for the masses. Whether you realize that your brand is a brand which needs to, you realize what your TG is, which is your target group. Whether it's from 15 to 25, whether it's the elderly, whether it's the, it's just young boys or the young girls, or whether it's for the mature audience. I think brand Vikram Phadnis has realized today that we say no to nobody. I don't have a single bride who has come to me in these 27 years, I can proudly say that. I don't have a single bride who has come to me and who has gone without making an outfit from me.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
I don't say my price is 3 lakhs and this is it. I custom, because I think a bride, a wedding is a very special day in a woman's life, in a man's life, and I think you don't spoil dreams. So for me, it is very important that I customize what the client wants for their very special day.
I think this is a good takeaway for all of us, isn't it? All the designers sitting here.
So brand Vikram Phadnis is basically about affordability. I don't think a single person can come to the Vikram Phadnis store and say, we can't afford him. Because I don't let that person go. I customize. Yes, if something is not within my reach, we make them understand. We tell them that this is what you're seeing is for an X amount. Your budget is Y. You will get this, but there will be this difference.
But then you always do, you ask them, what's your budget? And then you work around?
Of course. I mean, somebody who comes, suppose my, just for given, for namesake, if the outfit is 1 rupee and the person's budget is 30 paisa, the person knows that he's not going to get the same of what he's seeing at 1 rupee. But I always tell them that we customize the outfit in 30 paisa, it's going to look like this. So you know what you're getting in that money's worth. But we never turn back that client. We never say, no, this is it. We don't customize. We do customize. A lot of people come and say, so we've had a lot of repeat value. We've had a lot of people who've gone onto the websites, who've gone onto social media and who've said that, we won a Vikram Phadnis, and somebody says that, how did you afford it? So, and we use that as our strength. It is the strength of the brand Vikram Phadnis that we never turn people down because of.
So customization is a key for everybody.
I think it is very, very important. Well, but that's not necessarily the rule by what many people. You're not even allowed to meet the designer. Right. You've got to pay a premium of X amount and you can redeem it against so if you want to meet a designer, you put 50,000 rupees down, then the designer meets you. Then you can either customize or not customize the outfit.
That's very sad. That's very sad.
And then if you don't want to customize the outfit even after the meeting, then you can buy anything worth 50. I just feel you're holding people to ransom, which I don't do.
Correct. Tell us reasons why one should be a part of the business of fashion and the reasons you should not be.
The reason why you should be in the business of fashion, because you have the drive, you have the fire in your belly, you want to be a fashion designer, you want to sell your talent, you're creative enough to take your clothes to the world. You have that junoon, which they say, that you want to show the world, because fashion has become, I'm sure right now if there will be 20 designers here. What is the difference between her and her and her and her, or her and her? Why should I be buying her outfit and not her outfit? That fire which is there within you to prove to the other one that I have it in me without putting the other one down. Trying to sell your own talent and trying to sell your own market without showing the other way. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons you should be in this business of fashion. Lots of people come over here because they get to meet actors, actresses. They feel that you're going to have a heavy bank balance and you're going to become famous. These are all the 5 reasons why you should not be a fashion designer.
Correct.
Because a lot of people come, oh, I'll get to meet so-and-so actor and I'll come to Bombay and I'll become this and I'll become that, and they feel all designers have a lot of money. I don't know why they feel the designers have a lot of money. It's unbelievable, because I think...
because they look at Vikram Phadnis.
There are designers here. No, it's a fact. I'm not ashamed to say this, but there are so many times, so many times, I don't know where my next salaries will come from.
Really?
Yeah, there are so many times. Even I'm not even saying I'm at my peak, but there are so many times, and one should not be ashamed to say this, but there are so many times you feel that, because every day is not Sunday,
I think we all go through this, isn't it? We all go through this.
Yeah, but everybody wants to put on a defiant act and say that, the brand does. But we're not ashamed, because this is what the brand is. Some days are good, some days are bad. And when the days are bad, when your chips are down, you've got to realize how to make up when your chip... You just have to know that sometimes you feel that, oh, these 2 months were so bad, and then you don't know, because you have such a big infrastructure, you don't know how to support that infrastructure. But then you have the next month which comes and supports it all. So God's been kind, but I always tell them that, many people run away from the business because they shut the business down.
You need to sustain.
And there is no harm in seeing a downfall, because you will enjoy your rise only when you've been through the downfall, when you know and there's so much that you learn what not to do. So when you're down, when things are not right, when your sales are not right, when your demand and supply is not matching, which is very, very important. I always say that don't just keep supplying, see what the demand is also. Because you can't
you
wear
would say that
blindfolds.
market research is more important?
It is very important.
Yeah.
I cannot sit in my house, in my office, and say, oh, this is what I want to supply, when the demand is something else.
But don't you think designers create trends and that's how the market picks up?
Designers, I don't think I've created an outfit in my life to set a trend.
Okay.
I think that would be the wrong focus. I will not deliberately to do something. It's my design element. It's my creativity. It will become a trend. I cannot create a trend and then design. Correct. I will design something which eventually becomes a trend. So, and I don't think, I'm strictly of this thing that what is the use of following? We don't live in the Western world. I dress up the Indian woman. I dress up the Indian man. I do sherwanis, saris and lehengas, which are not worn by whites, which are not worn by Firangs. So why am I going to follow the trends? Or why am I going to follow color palettes of what's abroad? For people who do that, there are designers in India who create, who need to follow the Western influence, because they create those kinds of gowns, they create dresses, they create all that, and fair enough, they need to do that, because I create Indian clothes. I work with Zardozi, I work with Resham, I work with Gota, I work with thread work, I work with silks, I work with brocades. I am an Indian designer. I create for the Indian woman. I have no relation whatsoever with what the trends and what the things abroad are. Yeah, yes. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Pallavi. You just been to my stall, and you told me that there are 2 different kind of lines at my studio.
Yeah.
I would like to say one line was something that I love to create, but that does not sell here. The other line is what will sell, but I have to do it because it sells. So how important do you think is, expressing your own creativity and not selling?
Not selling should be the least of your concerns about anything. I understand that a lot of money goes into the inventory. I understand that a lot of money goes into creating something which has no demand. You're trying to get that, right? You are creating something which is not selling, but I saw you had 4 Western outfits and 30 Indian outfits. When I asked you why the lines are different, and your Westerns probably don't sell. and your Indian sell.
They don't sell in Jaipur.
Wherever.
But, yeah.
Let's not talk about geography. They don't have that much of a demand as much as the Indians have. I also create 4 collections. 2 collections don't work. In any geography, it could be in Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, London, wherever. They don't work. Then I have to structure what it did not work for. Was it the wrong TG? Was I selling it to the wrong target group? Why should I, is this what is not expected out of my brand? Today, if Vikram Phadnis goes to create gowns with my name, nothing will sell. Because I'm not into gowns. I'm not into Western clothes. I may try my hand at it, I may fail. But I don't want to try my hand at it because I don't want to invest my time, my energy, my money into something that I am not excited about. But you are excited about it. You like creating that. Keep doing that. Keep small, small pieces. One day there will be a breakthrough. One day people will realize that this is what she's trying to tell. Your ratio may be 80-20, but don't lose that 20 because that 20 will give you a brand identity.
And happiness
Of
from
course,
inside.
of course.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you price your products and what factors go in arriving that figure? I think we all would like to know what our design value
Basically
is.
asking me my profit margins.
No, the design value.
We create a product. All my colleagues in the industry, whenever I have designer meets with my friends, they always keep a percentage. They always say, okay, it'll be so much percent will be the markup of the
100%?
outfit. No, 100, 200, 300, 500, whatever the figures are. I have never done pricing according to that. I look at the cost price, which is my fabric, my embroidery, my stitching, my tailoring, my miscellaneous, my workshop, my salaries. I keep an aggregate of that. Then I look at the product. I look at the product, what it looks worth. Sometimes you may spend a lot of money, but it has zero value in hanger appeal. So then I reduce the price. I always believe in hanger appeal. I always, when I go to a stall, when people come to my store, they should want to wear that garment off the rack. Because it should look so good on a hanger that when you drape it on your body, it should look even better. So I always decide the selling price of that outfit on what the visibility of that, on the way that outfit looks. Sometimes the most simplest looking outfits look very elaborate, and sometimes the most elaborate looking outfits don't have that appeal. So my selling price is always determined after I see what the overall hanger appeal of an outfit is. Then I decide the percentage. So what happens is you will always see the kind of price points that the brand has. You will always see that there is a medium range, there's a luxury, there's an expensive range, there's a breadth line. You'd be surprised, but the cheapest of my clothes start at 8,000 rupees.
Vikram Phadnis can sell in 8,000.
Yes, we start at 8,000 rupees. So a lot of people don't even realize this. So my selling prices are determined according to the overall appeal of the thing. I don't go, see, I'll tell you what. There is a structure, and Mr. Prabhu, when he comes to speak, will know later. This is structure. Everybody knows that this is this, and the percentage is discussed on this, and this is your selling price. I've always been a designer by my gut. Because my formula, if there was a formula to success, if A plus B is equal to C, everybody would have been successful. True. There is no formula to success. Everybody's journeys, everybody's destinies, everybody's paths are different. And their taste of success is different. So my whole idea of pricing, my whole idea of this thing, that I'm a people's person. I like to make people happy. I don't mind not making the kill in one outfit. I'd rather spread it over 5 outfits. I don't believe in, oh, this outfit is looking so good, kill. So, everybody pays a premium price for this. I'd rather that 100 people wear this outfit. Okay. And keep the selling prices low, even though, because for me, it is important that people wear my clothes, enjoy wearing my clothes, and spread the word that it is an affordable brand. For me, it is not important that just because I've dressed up Kareena Kapoor in one show and one lehenga is this thing, the next day the prices go rocket high. It's not important for me because my journey has been different. So I want to make people enjoy what I create. But if you sit on a high horse and you say, oh no, I'm going to be a luxury brand and this is what it is, I'm not into that. My whole brand is a people's brand.
Okay. How do you handle dead stock? I'm sure everybody must be going through it. Yeah.
So, everybody goes on sale. Yeah, everybody goes on sale twice a year, but we go on sale just once a year. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have the channels to clear my dead stock.
But you can help out all the
I
designers
also want to
here.
know, I never ever take dead stock and put it in an exhibition. Because that is the last thing that you should do. A lot of people say, "Arey, ye exhibition mein part le lo, idhar dead stock clear ho jayega." That is the last thing, because that is your downfall. You tell people that this is on sale. You tell people, don't get clothes to an exhibition, sell them as fresh stock when it is dead stock. This is what I have learned. I used to do this. I used to go abroad to Dubai, used to carry all my dead stock, and I used to realize that people come and they pass my stall and they go to the next stall and buy. Because those people, the smart people who've come to Bombay and seen this 6 seasons ago.
Okay.
So dead stock has I have also gone to the point of clearing dead stock below cost price. So when its seasons move and we come to the third season sale, I sell it below cost price. If my cost price was 10,000, I sell it at 6,000.
So then how do you accommodate the losses then?
That's what you. Sorry. And not only, and I don't look at it as that's the profit only. I also feel that you enjoyed the profits, right? Did you ask yourself that time, why did you enjoy the profits? Then go through losses also. You cannot just keep enjoying profits and say, oh, I don't want losses. You know, dead stock has to be cleared. It has to be cleared. Dead stock has to be this thing. You have to. You cannot say that, oh, I've enjoyed the profits and, you know, how do you handle that 4,000 cut dead stock? You have to handle it. Because like we were discussing it earlier on also during the last night we were discussing that I'm not on Myntra, I'm not on Amazon, I'm not on Flipkart. My brand is not available on this thing because it's not a mass brand. It's not a brand where the price points are from 500 rupees to 15,000 rupees. It's not something that I do in bulk where I have 700 pieces of the same thing and I can sell it online on these online portals. So mine is a limited stock. Mine is a limited this thing. People wait for our sale. Like my sale is going to be in June. People buy clothes even when there is no requirement because they buy it and they keep it at this thing. So I clear all my dead stock in that one annual sale. But I never go to another city and carry my dead stock saying that this is fresh stock. That's what no designer should ever do.
True, true. How do young and upcoming designers prepare themselves to retail their products? I'm sure all these students here would like to know.
First of all, I don't think any designer, I know there are a lot of design students here. I don't think any designer should follow me or follow any other designer in this country. I think each one should find their own niche. We can be inspirations. I don't think we should be the trendsetters. You can say that this is what my niche is. This is what I would like to do. Like there's something that she wants to do. You have to identify what you want to do and what you want to sell to the world. You have to identify what your marketing strategy is, what your brand building policies are going to be, what your brand building ideas are. How are you going to be different from the rest for sitting with you right now? How are you going to be different from the rest, what is available in the market? What is your brand image? What is your brand policy? How are you going to market this to the world? Why should people come and buy from you? So I think any design student, any designer over here, sitting, wanting to build their brand should first sit and understand what their brand strategy is. Okay, am I a luxury brand? Am I a brand for the masses? Am I doing polka dotted dresses for young girls where the women are not my target group? Who is going to support this brand? How are you going to advertise this brand? How are you going to let people brand awareness? How are you going to create this brand awareness to people that I am a brand that does this and not this? These are my price points. This is how I'm going to sell to the world. So I think when you sit and you analyze that, not keeping into mind what the outside influences are of what Vikram Phadnis does or Sabyasachi does or Anamika Khanna does, leave all those established designers at aside and focus what I want out of this. Forget following other people's stories. You have to create your own story, which is what I tell every design student.
Okay, what are your views on plus designs, plus size designs for women? We always know designers, they would design only for the size 0.
To a store. Nobody hangs a plus design size in their store for two simple reasons. A, plus design sizes are always, I'm not talking about the casual clothes that are available in the market. I'm not talking about Zara and I'm not talking about casual brands, casual wear, day-to-day wear. I'm talking about couture. You cannot do couture plus XL sizes and keep in the store. But you will be surprised that the maximum orders that we get on existing sample pieces in the store are all from plus XL sizes.
Oh, yes.
Those are the women who have the money, A. Those are the women who are made to their pockets are full. Not these 16 and 20-year-olds who get pocket money. Whose clothes we make for models. So they have gone back to their husbands. They come with the credit card and say, we want. So that is my target group. Our brand Vikram Phadnis has realized that over these years.
Smart, very
So
smart.
we create a lot of plus sizes, a lot of plus sizes, and that's great because they are. That's what my brand, appreciates, and that's my target client.
So do you think is fashion only for the elite?
I wouldn't say fashion is for the elite, but yes, a luxury brand has to be affordable. Today, wearing something that is 5 lakhs doesn't mean it's fashionable. I can buy something from 5,000 rupees and still look stylish and fashionable. Style is not determined by the price tag of an outfit. But yes, luxury brands are expensive, and only those people can afford it. But that's the way it is, anything. I mean, today if I can't afford a Gucci or a Prada or a Louis Vuitton, it becomes a luxurious and it becomes an elite brand. Because I cannot afford it. So, because that is a luxury brand. But, like I said, my couture is a luxury line, but I do a line that is 8,000 upwards, which I have a younger target group of. So, luxury fashion invariably, unfortunately becomes for the elite because they have the power to buy. If you don't have the power to buy that this thing, it's an attainable. It's got an aspirational value. You want to achieve it, but the bank balance doesn't determine. I want to go to France, but I can't go to France because I don't have the money. So it becomes aspirational. Oh, one day I want to go to France, So it becomes this thing for the rich and famous. But that's not true in terms of style or in terms of fashion power. But yes, when you have the money, when you have the power to buy, it becomes a luxury brand.
What are your views? I think we did create discounts and deals. Your views on that? This discounts happening.
How many people over here like discounts?
Everybody, look at that.
Have you ever gone to Armani or to Versace and said, give me discount? Have you ever been to Zara counter when you buy a casual top and say, give us a discount? No. That is the basic thing. But having said that, it's easier to say it while I'm sitting on the chair. But even when I go to buy, I say, kuch discount milega. But yeah, but yeah, that's. I should not be saying this, but I'm saying it to you. Our mentality is on discounts and deals. Our mentality is price tag बढ़ाओ, discount दो, ये खरीद के लेके जाएंगे, लोग सोचेंगे कि यार क्या discount मिल गया, हमको discount मिल गया. We don't do that. When we have a discount, when our sale runs, we have the MRP. The tag has the MRP. The same price tag is on the website, and then we show the discounted. We never inflate our price, give a discount, and get it back to this price. But a lot of people come to me at the exhibitions which we do, and they say, we are taking 2 pieces, we'll take the 3rd piece, any discount? That I never entertain. If I feel that somebody is really, like so many times I can see a mother and daughter come to my exhibition and, the price point is not, the mother is not happy with the price point, but the daughter wants it. And out of my own will, I give it. Because I can see that sense of aspirational, that they want that Vikram Phadnis outfit. And I can see that tug of war between a family going on within my stall. I myself offer it. Because I know that they genuinely want to wear it and they deserve it. But somebody coming with a boisterous attitude saying, if you don't give me this 3rd piece, I will not buy these 2. I say, please feel free to leave it behind. There's absolutely no problem. No, I don't like. But what I like is, there are so many times I've given a discount. I have given discounts to people so many times by just realizing that they need to be given a discount. Because I realize from their focus of what they're buying for. They're buying it for somebody's mehndi. They're buying it for somebody's sangeet. They've gone over budget. They know that, their budget for clothes was probably 2 lakhs. They've already bought 3 outfits with another designer. This is their last outfit. They want it. From myself, I always give them a discount.
Okay, one last question. Maybe I'll open the house for the question. How has GST affected the business of fashion?
I think they've killed us. They've literally, it's like manslaughter. The documentation, it's just, I don't know. I mean.
But do you get the sense, design kare ya, get into all these taxes?
No, last 6 months I'm only focusing, every day when I go to the office, I'm first sitting on documentation, I'm first sitting on courier, I'm sitting on e-way bill, I'm sitting on something that I shouldn't be doing. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm not saying it's great for the fashion industry or it's not great for the fashion industry. I'm just saying that this, at the end of the day, the end consumer has to bear this. I'm going to inflate my price because I can't pay that. So I'm going to put it onto the consumer. And the consumer from 3 has become 2, from 2 has become 1. I cannot put it as a hidden cost. Everybody knows what GST is. Everybody knows that there will be a tax amount. I always make it inclusive in my cost. So I give you, my outfit is for 1 lakh, the outfit is GST inclusive. But the demonetization, the GST, this documentation that goes around GST, the laws, everything has become so... I understand that this is for the future, but I'm talking about my present. So it like throttles you, you know. It's like, should I create clothes? Should I come to office and create clothes, or should I be sitting on this? You know, should I be sitting on documentation? So at the end of the day, it's great for people who it is great for the fashion industry, and for me as brand Vikram Phadnis, right now it's a big torture.
It's a torture. Okay, one last question from my side. Your views on social media, and how do you look at competition and survival?
When we started 27 years ago, nothing like this existed. There was no mobile phone. So social media was dur ki baat. Today, yesterday's outfit which I put on social media is today's waste. So you've got, social media has become, the game has become so strong that you've constantly got to upload. Like I'm sitting at an airport thinking last night, what was the thing, I have to upload it. I land in Jaipur, I say, oh my God, I'm going for the Fiki, I have to upload something. But I've realized that if I don't do it,
How does it matter?
it matters in a very big way because somebody else is doing it and they move 2 steps ahead. I'm a very competitive person. I love competition. I would never say I want to be the only one in the game. I love competition. If somebody is, and that competition is so healthy that my best friends are designers. So it is so healthy because if there's no competition, how do you have that fire? You're going to sit at home, you're going to say, oh, bikta hai, bikne de. I love competition. I love the fact that I have created something, somebody else has created something better, I want to create. So the whole energy is so strong between me and my colleagues that social media is so powerful. I love the fact that I've given a standing ovation to Sabyasachi when he's created the best collections. I feel proud because he is he's my colleague, he's my this thing, and I stand up and I give him a standing ovation. So for
Isn't
me,
that amazing?
Yeah, because that's the way it is. Today when Anamika Khanna does something, when some designer does some great work, I'm the first person to pick up the phone and say, what a great collection you put up. How could you think like this out of the box? And that is why I have such great relations in the fashion industry. But this is what the social media is all about. The social media is all about what do you want to sell? When do you want to sell it? I did a show last night in Goa. The minute I put it up, I had to put up a picture because I need to sell that lehenga. I need to understand that my followers need to see that this is the new thing that has come in. And everybody's social media game is so strong that you can't be left behind in the rat race. You know, everybody is following. So today's news is tomorrow's waste. So you've got to create news again tomorrow. Like I'll be leaving this place and I'll be putting up a Fiki thing. I spoke at the Fiki because it's going to, it's going to create this thing. So social media for designers, for creative people is very, 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 because you're selling art. Right. Today, tomorrow, if I want to put a hoarding in Bombay, it's going to cost me 5 lakhs for a week. I can get that in 5 seconds by putting it up on my social media.
This is what we also strategize. All these people who are displaying here, we uploaded all their pictures on social media and it's reached like 30,000 hits.
I'm going to technically spend 5 lakh rupees for 1 week on a hoarding in Bombay, but in 5 seconds I'm going to upload and 5 lakh people are going to see it. So for me, that is visibility. Why will my social media game not be strong? You know, the Twitter, the social media has to be strong because that's how it is. And what was the second one?
Survival.
Yeah.
Survival.
Yeah, but like I've always said, survival is... I think I will give up fashion designing the day I feel that I've achieved or I've become successful. I think that will be my last day. I don't think I'll ever be able to create clothes after that. I don't think anybody has made it or there's nothing more to achieve. I think that day, whether your social media game is strong, whether whatever, the day you think you've become successful, and the day you think that this is it, from here on there's no life ahead, I think it's the end of me as a fashion designer.
So
for me, being survival is every day. Understanding what the market wants, understanding what the supply is, understanding what the demand is, understanding whether I'm trying to strike that balance to keep your social media strong, to understand what your database is, your target group, how you're going to market your product. I'm a film-based designer. If today I was not in the film industry, I don't think I would have been, people would have recognized me. Because whatever I am today is because of the film industry. True. You know, There are designers like a Tarun Tailani,
But
like
then
a
how
Rohit.
it will help everybody here?
That's what I'm saying. There are designers like Rohit Bal, Tarun Tailani, Anamika Khanna, who've not been fashion designers from the film industry, but they're so successful. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody writes their own journey. My journey is dedicated to the film industry. Today, had I not worked with the people who I worked with in the film industry, my struggle would have been different, my path would have been different, my journey would have been different, and the brand Vikram Phadnis would have been different.
That's nice. Any questions? Yeah?
I don't think there's a road or a bus or a train or a flight that takes you and says, "Acha, Bollywood aap pahunch gaye," this thing. I think when you start, you've got to first meet producers, meet directors, meet actors, try and make some celebrity wear your clothes. Yeah.
That is hard work.
Yeah.
Meeting everybody.
So
and,
then you should not be
huh?
in the business. Hard work is important in everything. I'm sure everybody, whatever they do, I'm sure everybody puts on. I work really, really hard. I have no choice. So does everybody. Everybody has to work hard. I don't think, like I said, if you can't work hard, give it up today. Correct. Because there is no choice.
All right. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. That Vikram Phadnis as a choreographer or as a fashion designer, which phase is closer to your heart and why?
When you have 2 children, your first one is your first one. You don't love your second one any less. So for me, my life has started with choreography. You know, that's the stage. Today I show on the runway. I started choreography on that runway. It will always be my first love. I mean, in the sense, I don't think I could have had a life without me being on the runway. And then when I started doing films, and then I became a fashion designer. So for me, every phase has so much importance, I can never value it one against the other. Never ever. Of course. I love.
Anybody? Mr. Prabhu,
Yeah.
you have a question for him?
No, I don't need a mic. When you said you didn't have a formal training for the fashion designing, so after you started doing it, how did you deal with the pattern making and masters? Because you yourself did not have the.
Let me shock you by telling you, I can't sketch.
Still now?
I can't hold a paper and a pen and sketch even a croquis. Forget an outfit.
What do you do?
It's all in my mind.
Take your journey.
Yeah, so it's all in my mind. And I sit with my entire team. In these last 27 years, I don't have a single boy who has worked with me. I only keep girls because they're the most hardworking people. So I have a team of assistants, all young girls. And I tell them, now I want it this way, now I want it this way. And they keep sketching and I say, no, not this now. Increase this, do. So everything of mine is very vocal. There are so many times I thought I'll go join an evening class and I'll learn sketching. But then I feel that I will be, this handicap which I have of not learning how to sketch will have been overcome. And I love that handicap because it drives me crazy when I want to create something. The day I learn it, I may take it myself for granted. So because it was too late for me to go to fashion school. At that point of time, my parents couldn't afford it. And we had, they were doctors and they didn't want me to become a fashion designer. So they didn't send me to fashion school. So I learned everything by just seeing. So I think I'm blessed enough to see, and then I'm blessed enough to say it and to experience that visualization from my mind onto paper, which somebody else does it for me. So I know it's a big handicap, but I use it as my strength.
Okay.
Well said. Yeah?
So I would like to ask, which is the most fashion drive every day you get from? Like we all get an inspiration every day.
No. I can't go into the jungle and sit and think, oh, like this nature inspired me, and I go to a museum and I say, there's nothing inspires me like that. I cannot go to a museum and put it on my social media, oh, I got this thing by the Taj, and I went to Istanbul and these things, nothing like this. No, I'm a very simple designer. I create clothes for the Indian women. A sari will always remain a sari, a lehenga will always remain a lehenga. It can't have that inspiration from here and from there and from there and from there. So I create my own mood board, I create my own khakas, I create my own embroideries, and I don't go to a place to set my mind thinking from other people and travel alone, and this travel line has this thing. These are all talking points for PR. I don't do that. I create clothes, and that is what I sell, and that is what I market. I don't say that I went or something inspired me, because no object inspires me. What inspires me is my mood. What inspires me is what I want to create that season. I can't go to a place and a physical thing inspire me to create something.
So you think all the designers, when they say we are inspired by so and so?
No, it's great. It's great. Like I said, I always say, don't go by what I talk. It's my journey. It's my experience. I cannot try to please 10 people, so say something inspires me. So for people who get inspirations from something, it's great. Like when my assistants come to me and they say, sir, you know, I say, okay, fine. All of you all come up with a thought process and let me see whose thought process is good. And they'll say, sir, I got inspiration from so and so, this thing. And it's their actual inspiration. So which is great. I never shun them down. I never tell my assistants, oh, because physical things don't inspire me, it should not inspire you. And I see into the insight. Like somebody will say, oh, you know, this inspired me. And this inspired me and my assistants. And I say, because their mind works that way. I cannot shun that down. I cannot say, oh no, you stop thinking that way because I think this way. So I give the creative freedom to all my entire team to think the way they think. Because I have employed them because that's their creative mind. My mind doesn't work this way. Like I said, when I determine the selling price, I don't go by the generic thing of how all MNCs or every company or every brand does, that this is selling price is determined. I go by purely, and that has worked for me. Not having gone to a fashion school, not having been able to pick up a paper and pen, I've been able to pull 27 years. So today if I learn that, maybe my journey will end over there, because I'll be able to sketch and I won't be, I might become a crazy person with that. So for me, I go by what works for me. But mine cannot be a stereotype case for every fashion student. Like there are so many, I've gone to so many parents, and I've had mothers who've come with tears in their eyes to me after a talk of mine saying that, we were forcing our child to do this. My husband doesn't listen, and my husband insists that my daughter should be, do 2 years of this and then she should get married. In typical families where they say, but thank God this thing. And I've said, their fathers are at this thing, and I've gone and spoken to the father saying, you cannot do this to your daughter. You cannot do this because she has a creative mind. Why did you put her in school? Why did you give her 2 years of fashion when you don't want her to become a fashion designer? Just because you want to keep her busy between 18 and 20 so you can pack her off at 21. You have to. If you educated her for a fashion designer, don't tell her you can't do this and you can do. She has to be a fashion designer. Or she should be a visual merchandiser. Or she should become a brand strategy person. She should be something related to the business that you taught her to be. But that doesn't mean that is the case, that then somebody says, oh, you didn't go to fashion school, why does my daughter need to go? Because that is not, I'm here to talk about my experience. Doesn't have to mean it has to become your journey.
All right, all done. Any questions? Last?
Yeah, any more
final?
questions?
Yeah.
So 2 important advice for all the designers here: customization and availability. Don't let anyone walk out without buying. I request Meenal to present a memento to Mr. Phadnis. Yeah, Phadnis, sorry.
That's okay. Everybody, the people who call me Fernandez. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
A big thank you to Vikram for being with us and giving us insights on the business of fashion. Thank you everybody for your presence for this session. The next session will begin after 15 minutes tea break.
I love fashion. I've never looked at it as just a job. It was all I knew. In fact, it was all I ever wanted to do. I really don't take anything for granted, because I've always believed that just because you're successful doesn't mean you can't fail. Everyone in my family is in the field of medicine. It was obvious that it was my parents' dream that I take this up professionally. But I was sure that if I wanted to be happy, I had to do something that gave me focus, the drive and the satisfaction. All through these 25 years, I've had to keep reassuring myself that I would not waste a lifetime doing something that really was not meant for me. And here, you're best known for the last job done. I started as a choreographer, and my journey of being one was just so wonderful. I enjoyed the process of working on stage, light, sound, just the whole production. The energy, the buzz, and the passion of directing shows was something that gave me a high. Taking up choreography professionally was the best decision I ever took. It was just the most amazing feeling to have directed shows with the country's biggest supermodels of that time. Working as a choreographer, I had taken a keen interest to fabric, embroideries and cuts. It was a whole new experience, and a new phase of my life had just begun. My phase between being a choreographer to a designer, I think, was just the toughest. I was unhappy and so unsettled in that change. I was not sure whether this change would even get me a brighter future. I applied to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandise in LA to leave India for good and go and study fashion design and visual merchandising. I still remember that day when Salman sat me down and explained to me that leaving India and going away was just an escape route, and that it was important to stay here, work here, and make sure I fulfill my dreams. Most importantly, just dream big. I knew the only way to move ahead was to start my own brand, design, create, and keep creating. Since then, I never looked back. I think in this journey I was blessed to have met some really nice people. People who were so supportive towards my work, and friends in the film and fashion industry who encouraged me always. When I look back at these 25 years, my first show as a choreographer, my first show as a designer, my debut at Fashion Week, the first award I ever received, the opportunities that came my way to work with some of the biggest names in the glamour industry. Each one is a memory of a lifetime. India is so much about cinema. I owe so much to the Indian film industry. These 25 years would be incomplete without thanking the friends I made here, the talent that I worked with, my team of assistants, my workers, my clients who supported the brand, and the entire fashion and film industry. I think each one, in some way or the other, has contributed to a phase of mine, to a time of mine, and that is what I respect and I love the most. It's been a beautiful journey. I now look forward to the next 25.